Hey there, gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I just finished watching that new Nintendo Direct, and it's extra interesting because we're getting two separate Nintendo Directs in 1 week, which I don't think has ever happened before. Today was the last Nintendo Direct of the original Nintendo Switch, and on April 2nd is the first Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2, but this final send-off, I just finished watching it, and it feels like a lot of people are actually kind of negative on it. I've seen a lot of people saying, wow, I can't believe the last Direct is such an L, but I want to talk about the parts I did enjoy and the parts that I did kind of get, very much confused by. Really, to me, I have to give it a 9 out of 10 purely because of the fact that Metroid Prime 4 showed up, and it looked fantastic, but let's get into it. But short and sweet, if you're just clicking this because you want to know my off-the-cuff thoughts, Metroid Prime 4, I feel like I have not been excited for a game maybe ever. I literally I played so much Metroid Prime as a kid. Seeing this next chapter, it feels different, but let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I feel like part of the reason that people are being so negative about this final Nintendo Direct for the Switch 1 is that some of the games in this are good. Stuff like Dragon Quest 1-2 HD Remake honestly looks fantastic. Everything they showed today, 99% of what they showed today is coming out this year. And that makes sense. The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out this year. So every Switch 1 game obviously is going to come out this year. But some of the stuff, I have to admit, I was surprised by, like Pokemon. I feel like part of the reason people hated this Nintendo Direct, it had millions and millions of concurrent viewers, and a lot of people in chat like to be extra negative, right? I think a lot of people did not like the tons and tons of random anime games, random ports, random stuff that nobody's ever heard of. Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. This is apparently some remake of a classic Atlas game, and I'm sure this is going to be good. I like weird retro Atlas hidden gems, but it feels weird that this is the final Nintendo Direct for it to be filled with so many games that are very much an unknown commodity. But let's go through here. Something that did surprise me, there were two separate big PlayStation games here, and I have to admit that I kind of thought we'd get some Xbox games. I was hoping for something like, the Master Chief Collection on Nintendo Switch or something, but this is Patapon Remastered, and we also got a new Hot Shot Golf, or Everybody Loves Golf as it's called now. So it's weird that there are two separate really good PlayStation games both coming to Switch. This is the one I am definitely buying. I've talked about this in previous videos. I'm very much obsessed with Patapon, that specifically because of the PSP. I had a PSP, I hacked it back in the day, and I played pretty much every single PSP game you've possibly heard of. So, this game though, a rhythm-based strategy game, incredibly freaking addictive, and it shows the fact that I guess it does seem like Sony's really starting to get at that point where they go, okay, we're putting games onto PC, we're putting games on Nintendo Switch, putting games obviously onto PlayStation, just anything that will sell. We still want you to buy a PlayStation first and foremost, but they're definitely coming to that point where they will take combined stuff that's cool and try and put it other places for that extra easy profit. Now, let's talk about the real goodie, the monolith, the mega awesome stuff. Metroid Prime 4 looks incredible. Now, obviously, we've had teases of it in the past. It's coming in 2025, and it's actually going to be on the original Nintendo Switch. Now, something that was been speculated, it was never confirmed, but something a lot of very dedicated Nintendo fans have been kicking around is the idea of cross-generation launch games. This is something the Nintendo Switch had, which is that there were a couple games that came out both on the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch, stuff like, obviously, Breath of the Wild. I think that's what this is going to be, where the real version is on the Switch too, but the original version on the Nintendo Switch is still going to look great and play great. It is just wild to see this. I love Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime specifically, I like Metroid games, but Prime has always been that primo, cream of the crop, awesome confusing, exploring lost planets and figuring out cryptic stories. It is the game. So the fact that we're finally getting Prime 4 and it looks to be as good as the originals, more beautiful than the originals, it is just wild. They also had this tease where they said coming in 2025. Is this Dark Samus? Like, what the heck? No, 30-second trailer, no date. It's getting delayed. People are trying to be negative about it. I think this trailer was fan-freaking-tastic. I am definitely on board for it. But the next thing is that I do think there were a lot of games during the course of this entire Nintendo Direct that, even if personally I thought they looked cool, I did feel like the spacing of this was just a bit odd. I am very thankful that this Nintendo Direct was only, 33 minutes long. There have definitely been times where there are bad presentations done by PlayStation or Xbox, a developer direct or a state of play, and it's 90 minutes long, and you get stuck with 30 minutes of pure bad games or games that are uninteresting. I like the fact that even when there's stuff I was less interested in, this is the people that did Stardew Valley. They're doing a Harry Potter witch school game. And you know what? Not really my cup of tea, but I'm also glad that the trailer was 2 minutes and then we're on to the next big thing. Now, Pokemon Z through A coming out late 2025. The new Pokemon game. So they finally explained the name of it. You're in this big city where you're capturing Pokemon, trying to level up, that sort of stuff. But the way it works, hey, look, it's my name, is that in order to power up, during the day, you go out and catch Pokemon and grind and, get your skills, get everything ready. And then at night, other trainers come out and explore the city. And so every night, you're battling against these other trainers to raise your rank. The goal is to go from Z to A. Every time you win a big battle or conquer a group or something like that, you go up another rank until you're 26 ranks up. And they say if you get all the ranks, you get a wish granted. I will say that I thought this trailer looked good conceptually. I like the idea of this Pokemon. It actually looks fun, but man, do these graphics look bad. I know every Pokemon fan says it's not about the graphics, but man, I'm definitely ready for the first Pokemon made for the Nintendo Switch 2 because this one is looking rough. I mean, obviously these textures are not just super barren and stuff. There are textures that actually look downright blurry. Personal taste, I'm glad we're getting a new Pokemon. It definitely looks pretty damn good, but I'm definitely starting to say, man, we got to get ready for the future. Okay. There were two big surprises during this presentation, two that actually just blew my mind. There was a lot of good stuff, but two games that I never expected to come back. First off, Rhythm Heaven. Yeah, the classic Rhythm game. These games are super silly. They're super great. Rhythm Heaven Groove. I'm super impressed they're bringing this back. I feel like this is just a sign about the fact that something Nintendo does better than anybody else is low-cost development with tiny dedicated teams, so when the game comes out, it's polished, it's fun, it's great, it's exactly what the fan base wants. Rhythm Heaven games, these are tap-to-the-beat games with crazy backgrounds and silly scenarios. It's cool they're bringing it back. I mean, I give them props for the fact that clearly they listen to the fans because fans specifically have been begging for Rhythm Heaven to come back, and they actually did it. I have to admit, I am impressed. Okay. There were two things they showed today that I honestly don't get. I think I put the two slides next to each other. I think I did. Yeah. This is one. Today they announced a new Nintendo Today app. They said that they're happy about the success of Nintendo Directs, that Nintendo Directs to a lot of people are now these big events, which it's true. I mean, the fact that millions of people were watching it concurrently shows the impact. I mean, when I was watching it, it had 100,000 likes on the official YouTube stream, which is just wild to think of the size of that. But they basically said that they want to drop daily gaming news through the app. I just don't really get it. I feel like maybe this will be more popular in other areas. I think that the Nintendo apps are more popular and stuff in places like Japan and stuff, but I'm not installing this app. I feel like I use my phone to text and that's pretty much it. But Here's the other one that I definitely just do not get. Virtual game cards. You can purchase a digital game and load it as a digital game card. You're able to load digital game cards on a second system, can load up to 2 systems, can lend out your games to a Switch family group. So, you know how you plug a physical game cartridge into your Nintendo Switch, right? And if you want to lend it to me, you give it to them. You go, there you go. That's your copy of the Final Fantasy collection, right? Well, they said the idea is that you can install games and swap them. You can lend them other systems and stuff like that. I feel like there's something about this I don't grasp, in that you can just install it or play it. I mean, something about this definitely is just not connecting with me. I saw a lot of people in chat say, what a great idea. Yeah, is this just not an SD card? Nintendo knows how to make overly complicated things that Western companies have been doing flawlessly for 25 years. I just don't really understand it. Maybe it'll make more sense later. Okay, here is the other last 2 things we're looking at, which is the 2 games I already hinted at, which is that the other big surprise that's coming back, they're reviving Tomodachi Life. These are like, it's almost like Nintendo's version of The Sims, in that you get your little meat character and you get to go on island adventures and run shops and be silly. We have not had a Tomodachi Life game in over 10 years. The last one was on the 3DS, so it is cool they brought it back. It is a big surprise, but this is the other one that did kind of catch me off guard. Another PlayStation game. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots announced for Nintendo Sony Direct, coming to Switch out in 2025. Also published by Bandai Namco. I think for a final Nintendo Direct, I had a good time watching it. For me, 90% of my enjoyment was getting a chance to see Metroid Prime 4 again, and getting another look now about how this new Pokemon is going to work. Am I disappointed by anything? Am I really kind of lost? I think that I kind of wish that it was a bit more of a celebration, like personal taste. And I'm not even knocking points against it, but since this is the last Direct ever for the original Nintendo Switch, at least hypothetically, I mean, I'm just assuming that, I kind of wish they had done a bit more of a thank you for the love. Thank you for 150 million Nintendo Switches. Thank you for, all the different people that have been having Smash Brothers tournaments and all the crazy events they've had in Splatoon 3 and stuff like that. I kind of wish that they had just done something to kind of say, yes, this is the end, but also congratulations, it's the end, time for Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe they'll do that in the Nintendo Switch 2 event coming up here on April 2nd. But these have just been my off-the-cuff thoughts. I'll make you guys a deal. If this video gets 2,000 likes, I will actually stream the Nintendo Switch 2 stream on, next Thursday. Whenever April 2nd is, next Wednesday. What did you guys think about it, though? Are you excited for the Nintendo Switch 2? Have you appreciated your Nintendo Switch 1? And is there anything in here besides Metroid Prime? Because obviously that's the winner of it. Is there anything in here that just truly melted your brain? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It definitely helps out. And you guys rock. Keep dreaming. And as always, keep gaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.